The mother, Bhuvaneshwari, played her part in bringing out Narendranath's innate virtues. When he told her one day of having been unjustly treated in the school, she said to him in consolation, "My child, what does it matter if you are in the right? Always follow the truth without caring about the result. Very often you may have to suffer injustice or unpleasant consequences for holding the truth, but you must not under the circumstances. Very often you may have to suffer injustice or unpleasant consequences for holding the truth, but you must not under any circumstances abandon it." Many years later, Narendranath proudly said to an audience, "I am indebted to my mother for whatever knowledge I have acquired." One day, when he was fighting with his playfellows, Narendra accidentally fell from the porch and struck his forehead against a stone. Narendra accidentally fell from the porch and struck his forehead against a stone. The wound bled profusely and left a permanent scar over his right eye. Years later, when Ramakrishna heard of this accident, he remarked, in the way, it was a good thing. If he had not thus lost some of his blood, he would have created havoc in the world with his excessive energy. In 1871, at the age of 8, Narendra entered high school. Narendra entered high school. His exceptional intelligence was soon recognized by his teachers and classmates. His exceptional intelligence was soon recognized by his teachers and classmates. Though at the first reluctant to study English because it's a foreign origin, he soon took it up with avidity. But the curriculum consumed very little of his time. But the curriculum consumed very little of his time. He used most of his inexhaustible energy in outside activities. He used most of his inexhaustible energy in outside activities. Games of various kinds, many of which he invented or improvised, kept him occupied. He made an imitation gas works and factory for aerating water. These two novelties having just been introduced in Calcutta, he organized an amateur theatrical company and gymnasium. He organized an amateur theatrical company and gymnasium and took lessons in fencing, wrestling, rowing, and other many manly sports. He took lessons in fencing, wrestling, rowing, and other manly sports. He also tried his hand at the art of cooking. He also tried his hand at the art of cooking. Intensely restless, he would soon tire of one pastime and seek for a new one. Intensely restless, he would soon tire of one pastime and seek a new one. With his friends, he visited a museums and zoological garden. With his friends, he visited the museum and zoological garden. He arbitrated the disputes of his playfellows and was a favorite with the people of neighborhood. He arbitrated the disputes of his playfellows and was a favorite with the people of neighborhood. Everybody admired his courage and admired his courage, straightforwardness, and simplicity. Everybody admired his courage, straightforwardness, and simplicity. From an early age, This remarkable youth had no patience with the fear or superstition. From an early age, this remarkable youth had no patience with the fear and superstition. One of his boyish pranks had been to climb a flowering tree belonging to neighbor, pluck the flowers, and do other mischief. One of his boyish pranks had been to climb a flowering tree belonging to the neighbor, pluck the flowers, and do other mischief. The owner of the tree, finding his remonstrances unheeded, the owner of the tree, finding his remonstrances unheeded, once solemnly told Naren's friends that the tree was guarded by the white robed ghost, who would certainly wring their necks if they disturbed his peace. The boys were frightened and kept away, but the Narendra persuaded them to follow him back, and he climbed the tree, enjoying his usual measure of fun, and broke some branches by way of further mischief. Turning to his friends, he then asked, said, "What as you all are? Well, what as you all are? See, my neck is still there. The old man's story is simply not true. Don't believe what others say unless you yourselves know it to be true. Unless you yourselves know it to be true." These simple but bold words were an indication of his future message of the world. These simple but bold words were an indication of his future message to the world. Addressing large audience in the later years. Addressing large audience in the later years, he would often say, "Do not believe in a things because you have read about it in the book." Because you have read about it in the book, do not believe in the things because another man has said it was true. Do not believe in the words because they are hallowed by tradition. Find out the truth for yourself. Reason it out. That is the realization. The following incidents illustrate his courage and presence of mind. He one day wished to set up a heavy trapeze in gymnasium, and so asked the help for some people who were there. So asked the help of some people who were there. Among them was an English sailor. The trapeze fell and knocked the sailor unconscious. The trapeze, the trapeze fell and knocked the sailor unconscious, and the crowd, thinking him dead, ran away for the fear of police. Run away for the fear of the police. But Naren tore a piece from his cloth. Naren tore a piece from his cloth, bandaged the sailor's wound, washed his face and with water, and gradually revived him. Then he moved the wounded man to the neighboring schoolhouse where he nursed him for a week. When the sailor had recovered, Naren sent him away with the little purse collected from his friends.